All rise, please.
Welcome everyone to the regular quarterly commission meeting. Got a big crowd tonight. I see a lot of familiar faces in it. As in every meeting, we start with a prayer and a pledge. And I'm going to ask Brother Ron Follett to lead us in both tonight. Brother Follett, I saw you here somewhere. There he is, right there. Brother Follett.
Heavenly Father, this evening, as we approach your throne, we come with thankfulness for the blessings that you have given to us. For you are the one that has blessed us with the beauty of our surroundings. You're the one to whom we now turn to give guidance in governing this beautiful place. We ask for your wisdom to be poured about and upon these who represent the community. Give them the knowledge and the will to be able to be faithful servants. We thank you for the privilege of being together here tonight. And we ask and give you praise for all the goodness that you have given us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. So this regular called meeting of the Sequatchie County Commission is tonight. This meeting is being held at the Sequatchie County Courthouse. Anyone that's out there wishing to view the meeting can access the live stream. Compliments from our friends at DTC Fiber. We got Ethan Lloyd in the house. He'll be doing all those things that he does. And we appreciate you, Ethan, for being here. Up next, Madam Clerk. Good evening to you. Roll call, please.
Chester Shell.
Yes.
Gary Williams.
Here.
Bobby Sherman.
Here.
Ryan Ruling.
Here.
Jimbo Breland.
Here.
Bill Hatfield.
Here.
Ronnie Land.
Here.
Joyce Dodson.
Here.
Jeff Barger.
Here.
Bob Powell.
Here.
David Cartwright.
Here.
June Dishman.
Here.
Frank Silver.
Here.
Clint Huth.
Here.
Tommy Johnson.
Here.
David Hudson.
Here.
Tom Manero.
Here.
And Jeff Mack.
Here.
Very good, very good. We have a quorum, Madam Clerk. In your package, you should have received the minutes from the June 28th meeting. I'll entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved.
I have a motion from Mr. Barker. I have a second from Mr. Hudson. Any discussion, corrections, deletions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed likewise, said minutes hereby pass. Moving forward into the reports, I want to make to the Madam Clerk the documents from the trustee's office. I'll make those part of the minutes. The cash flow analysis from the county executive's office. These two items for you. Okay, I'm looking around. Do I have my representatives, anybody here from Carbon Black? Okay, our good friends, we've all been invited to an open house tomorrow. I just wanted to recognize those folks. I know we have some folks here for what's going to happen with the highway department tonight. I appreciate you guys being here. We've also got some special guests from the 5th District. That's Mr. Barger and Mr. Powell's district. Chester, did I take care of that?
Yes, you did.
All right, very good. Welcome. Okay, moving forward, let's take care of the accolades first. Mr. Eric, come forward, please.
I think I mentioned last time we were doing the budget stuff that I had 3 guys, one that's retired, 2 that'll be retiring this month. Between the 3, they've got about 80 years of service in the county. They're all 3 heavy hitters in the department. We're going to miss them. Luckily, hopefully they'll come back their 96 days and help us out. because we have a lot of young faces and a lot of experience that needs to be and knowledge that needs to be transferred. So with that said, I'm going to ask Dent and David and Austin Easterly to come up here for a minute, and we'll get Nikila and Jaden to come up here. We got a little plaque for them, some clocks, different things, and I just can't say enough about these guys. I mean, they do a lot for your county, our county, and well, maybe except for Austin here. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I'm telling you, I was really lucky to get to work with them. They all do a really good job, and like I said, they're the heavy hitters of the department. But we've got some other people that's just going to have to step up and start pulling it. But with that said, I'd like to give Dent he's got 34 years of service, I believe, if that's correct.
34 years.
And Mr. Austin Easterly had 19 years of service. David had 27. I can't remember if it was 26 or 27. The county needs to understand that these guys have spent 80 years of their life working for this county, and I appreciate what they did. We're going to miss them, but luckily for us, hopefully they'll come back and help us out a little bit on their time that they get to work, 96 days a year they get, and be retired. But I appreciate you guys. I can't say enough good things about you, but I appreciate you coming tonight and getting this stuff, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Can I say something? Can I say something?
Yeah.
Hey, I'll be sure to do that.
Let me just say this, I know each of these gentlemen, and when it's snowing and sleeting at 2 o'clock in the morning, these guys are generally looking for a cup of coffee after a cold night out, but we on behalf of a grateful county, we appreciate your service. Is that it, Eric?
That's good.
All right. Thank you, Eric. Okay, Coach Swafford, I believe you're in the audience. Please come forward, sir. I think you've got an announcement, maybe some dinner plans, maybe in the works, hopefully.
Who's paying? Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll be brief. I'll answer any questions you have. School starts for us August 4th. That's in 2 weeks. And if you've been down on the school site lately, we've got several building projects going on. They're all on schedule. Griffith renovation, athletic facility renovation, and a new welding room at the high school. They're all underway and slated to be completed in the next couple of months. Would like to remind you that next Tuesday, the 27th, at Griffith Elementary School at 5:30, we'll be hosting you there, and we will walk the facility and look at the reno that's going on at Griffith. I think you'll be very pleased with what you see. If you remember a year and a half or so ago, 2 years ago, we stood in that hallway. We'll go stand in the same place, and it won't look like the same building. So look forward to that. And if you have any questions, we would certainly answer them. We certainly would ask that you approve our budget tonight that we submitted to you 3 weeks ago. So if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Has ESSA come down with any money yet? That ESSA, that 4 million or whatever you get?
ESSA? Well, it's reimbursable. We've filed our last ESSA plan. It's not been approved yet,
Okay.
but we did file it this week.
Okay, thank you.
Questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Mr. Sheriff, wastewater.
Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen of the commission,
You have my April, May, and June commission reports there in front of you. I'll entertain any questions you have about those. If not, thank you.
Thank you, Cohen. Okay, audit committee. Tom, who's speaking tonight? Is that,
I'll speak. So yeah, we had a very brief meeting this morning. Myself was there, our chairman, Jakey Cooley, and Mrs. Johnson were there. And because we're at that point of year where, audit's just starting, there wasn't any true audit issues to discuss. The only thing we did discuss, which we'll allude to here later in the meeting, is that infrastructure funding plan. I had just made a point as a member of the audit committee that, once that becomes county policy, that will be another item that will be subject to audit going forward, being a policy of the county. The other two audit members agreed, and we basically just said, obviously, there's nothing to discuss on that until a funding issue actually becomes presented to the commission. So it was a very brief meeting. We discussed maybe in October. I understand we are maybe one of the earliest people to be audited this year. There might be a subject to discuss at that point. Otherwise, at this point of year, we just wait to either an audit complaint comes in or our audit report at the end of the year.
any questions for Mr. Venero? Hearing none, moving on is Sheldon with Ag in the house. I don't see him, so we'll move forward. Over to, I see Will Pitt here with Puckett / I guess Priority now, Mr. Pitt.
Evening, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, as always, for having us. Just a quick update on Puckett EMS and our activities in the county for the last quarter. We responded to 558 calls for service. The average response time to our urban zones was 8.6 minutes, which is about 4 minutes faster than our contractual goal. Response to the rural zones is an average response of 16.3, which is about 9 minutes faster than our target there. We've got quite a bit going on for us as far as the recruitment and development processes. So we've recently graduated an EMT Academy program, and actually today started another one. So it's the first one that we have been able to partner with Chattanooga State to do in Tennessee. So we've done a lot of our academy programs in Georgia because the regulations are different for schools there, but with partnership with Chattanooga State at the campus in Kimball today, started our next academy here. Excuse me. Once we finish that, we're hoping to continue these. My plan is for us to continue doing these academies nonstop. The demand, the need in this field is just continuing to grow, and so it's one of the ways that we have found to be able to kind of stay ahead of the workforce needs. In addition, rolling around the county here soon, you'll probably see a couple of new vehicles. We've been some manufacturing backlogs. It's taken some time to get it done, but we bought 2 new ambulances to replace the 2 that were based here in the county. So both of those went in service. I think one went in service today, and the other one is they finished putting it together. If it's not in service tonight, we'll be in here tomorrow. So we're excited about that. It's been a process that's taken a minute to get through. On that, there any questions?
Yes, sir. I'd like to thank you all. You did an excellent job with my wife. She passed away and you brought her back. But here's a question on the emergency coming to Dunlap and water coming to Chattanooga. It's on, but based on emergency. Have you figured anything out on that yet, or do you still return to the main office there?
For
anyone gets called on ambulance call? They said it's routine to come back to Dunlap.
So it should be the closest appropriate hospital. So depending on what is wrong with the person, that may be the local hospital, and it may not be. So things like a bad trauma or heart attack, stroke, things like that may need to go directly to another facility. A lot of that's sort of in the judgment of the EMS provider. One of the reasons that we we work to try to get people to the local hospital if they can, as opposed to moving into Chattanooga. Not sure if you guys have seen it. It's across the board in Chattanooga, and it's actually even worse in some of the other areas we work, like Memphis. But the hospital just capacity, they're absolutely full to the brim. They're seeing tons and tons of patients, and so there are times that the wait times in the ERs, especially in the bigger campuses downtown, can get very, very long. And one of the ways that we help the flow through that process is for patients to go to their community hospital, and then, you know, if they need to be admitted or moved somewhere, then they can be moved when the hospitals have room to be able to do that. But it's something that, as we see, we're starting to see another uptick in COVID cases too, which is concerning and may become all the more important if we continue to see a rise there.
Thank you very much. That's what I
Yes, sir.
wanted, kind of explain to people of the county, you asked that question.
Absolutely.
I think you've done a great job.
Thank you, and we really appreciate you as well.
Thank you, Will.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. While we're on emergencies, we have our director from the 911, Winfred Smith. Winfred, anything for us tonight? You can stand there if you want.
Well, I think right now we're going back. We're doing good. We're fixing to upgrade our radio system with the county. I've been in touch with the sheriff and the city police. We're upgrading it right now, which we hope will make communications with those guys a whole lot better. Other than that, unless you got any questions, we're doing pretty good.
Winfred, it's good to have you back. It's been a job just to keep Winfred at bay, so to speak. So Chester has a
Let me
question.
ask you a question, Winfred. Have you ever jumped there on that new spot that they picked out on the mountain? Do you know how the beam goes out? Does it cover the mountain pretty well?
It should. Realize the kind of radio system we're using works like an umbrella.
Okay.
It's no different. When you open an umbrella, well, that does it.
Okay.
And so the reason we picked what we did is because that'll get us just a little ways over into Bledsoe County coverage, but it'll also that cover backwards towards Signal Mount, give some more coverage that way.
I can't use walk on over at the convenience center. It don't even work. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Winfred. We appreciate it. Good to have you back. With us tonight, we have our IDB from the county, the chairman of that committee, Pam Mooneyham. Miss Mooneyham.
I'm going to be fast because I know you have a long meeting. Thank you, Mr. Commissioner, or Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. I appreciate you for having me. The IDB has had a very long year already. We are in the process of defining new things for the county IDB because this is our first county IDB. So the first thing that we're doing right now is we're defining the tiers and rules for our pilot programs. This will help us with new businesses in the county and with grants and funding for them. So we have 2 new businesses thus far that we're dealing with. Big Valley Air south of town and Cat's Naturals, which is hopefully going to go in the industrial park. And we're also trying to get one of our lots in the industrial park separated to where we have more acreage. So that's kind of some of the things we're doing. Hopefully we're going to find land to accommodate new growth on Lewis Chapel and the rest of city and county. I am thankful to Mayor Huth for all the help and input he has given for incubating new ideas for growth in businesses to thrive in both city and county. For the first time, I feel like we're all on the same page, and when we talk about something, we're all in either an agreement or we're not in agreement. So I am very thankful for that. And Carbon Black is having their open house tomorrow from 1 to 4 in their building on Fredonia Mountain. I would like to encourage you all to go because we are looking forward to developing strategies with them for growth in Sequatchie County. We have gone through a whole lot of different steps, and they have just recently done a proposal and a beautiful presentation that is housed at the Chamber of Commerce on easels. So if you have any questions about what they do, what they're going to do for us and other counties, I would encourage you to go down there and look at it. That is something I encourage them to do because a lot of people just did not know what they were going to do. So it shows all the processing steps and so forth and so on. Also, I have had numerous investors from locally and from other counties inquiring and investing opportunities because we are in an opportunity zone here in the county, and it just breeds for good investments. So I've had a lot of people calling. We are also on the same page with the city and the county in being very careful who we bring in because we do want to keep our small town living, but we do want to also provide the best wages and opportunities for our citizens. So I want you to be aware that we're very careful on who we talk to and who we give opportunities to. So if you ever have any questions, just feel free to call me, and I appreciate you all.
Any questions for Ms. Mooneyham? Pam's doing an excellent job. I thank you publicly, and we appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate you all. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. All right, just want to make mention in the house tonight, we have the executive director from Sethra, Nathan Smith, with us. Nathan, stand up, please, sir, if you got anything to add to this forum.
Not tonight. Everything's going well down the street on the north end, and I'm excited to be there.
It's good to have you, sir. Nathan's doing a splendid job at Sethra. We appreciate him, and we have a meeting, I know, tomorrow, Mr. Smith. So up next, I see Dr. Pickett in the house. Winston, you still here? Anything with Valley Fest? Any updates?
Actually, we have a Valley Fest Inc. meeting scheduled for Thursday. We'll know more after that. Maybe at the next meeting we could make some announcements.
Very good. I need to see you in the morning too, if we can. Just to make mention. Janice, I didn't see Janice earlier with the chamber. I don't see her here, so we'll move forward with that. Ms. Mitchell, anything from legal? Not at this time. I know I've given you some homework to look at for a little bit later, and maybe even later than that, but we'll get that to you. Okay, did I miss anyone? I don't think so. Donnie, see you over there. We'll be taking that up in just a moment, lease vacancy. Mr. Barger.
Yes,
Sir, I'm going to have you to go ahead and come up, and you're going to remain for our new business, but first, I think we need to talk about some things we did in budget, then we'll get to save the resolutions for last, if we can, the funding plan and those sort of things. So.
Say that again. I couldn't walk and listen to you at the same time.
Let's save, talk about give us the highlights on the 2021 budget, also the funding plan we took up, whatever discussion we had, and let's end with the resolutions in number 2 on new business. We'll just take off of that once you get through the ceremonial things.
Okay. Yes, sir. The budget committee did meet this afternoon to kind of go over the presentation. The budget, we had presented the budget to the commission roughly 2 weeks ago now, and basically we just kind of reiterated going over that budget. Nothing has changed in the budget. The budget as presented is a sound budget. There is no tax increase in this budget. All the budget is balanced. There was 2 funds that we can mention. The drug fund for the sheriff and debt services is the only 2 funds that were expenses over revenues. But we can explain both of those, and both of those have the fund balance to cover those expenses. The other items that we discussed in the budget committee was, and this came as a recommendation from the budget committee to accept the infrastructure funding plan contingent on Tom's corrections and the authorization from our county attorney. And that's one you wanted to go over first. There's the Sequatchie County Public Infrastructure Funding Plan.
You've heard the motion from the budget committee. Do I hear a second? I have a second from Mr. Hudson. Any questions or discussion about this funding plan? It's quite lengthy discussion in the budget committee. Hearing none, Madam Clerk, I want to roll call this because potentially it could exceed the $5,000.
Chester Shell,
No.
Gary Williams,
Yes.
Brian Ruling,
Yes.
Bobby Sherman,
Yes.
James Freeland,
Yes.
Bill Hatfield,
Yes.
Joyce Dodson,
Yes.
Ronnie Lane,
Yes.
Jeff Barber,
Yes.
Paul Powell,
Yes.
David Cartwright,
Yes.
Jim Dishman, Frank Silver,
Yes.
Clint Huth,
Pass due to potential conflicts of interest.
David Hudson,
Yes.
Tommy Johnson,
Yes.
Tom Manero,
Yes.
and Jeff Merrick.
Yes.
Okay, the motion hereby passes. What have you got next, sir?
We can discuss before we get into the budget, the bids for the firing range.
Yes.
All right. It came as a motion from the Budget Committee to accept. The sheriff had presented a bid price for a firing range on some county property for practice for the deputies. And it came as a motion from the Budget Committee to accept the bid of Griswold and Sons of $20,250.
Second.
We've had a motion and a second. Any questions, discussion, and/or deletions? Hearing none, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Chester Shell,
Yes.
Gary Williams,
Yes.
Brian Ruling,
Yes.
Bobby Sherman,
Yes.
James Freeman,
Yes.
Bill Hatfield,
Yes.
Joyce Dodson,
Yes.
Ronnie Lane,
Yes.
Jeff Barber,
Yes.
Paul Powell,
Yes.
David Cartwright, Jim Dishman,
Yes.
Frank Silver,
Yes.
Clint Huth,
Yes. Sorry, I was distracted by the conversation.
David Hudson,
Yes.
Tommy Johnson,
Yes.
Tom Manero,
Yes.
and Jeff Mack.
Yes.
Okay, said motion hereby passes.
All right. That takes care of those items. The other issues that the Budget Committee had discussed, and that is our resolutions.
Mr. Berger, can I have you to take a seat for just a moment? I need to digress and pick up two items that our Madam Clerk has brought forward to me that I had wrote down in my draft but did not bring forward. First,
Shall I sit over here?
That is fine. First, the yearly financial reports that are due from each elected official, fee offices are hereby presented to the county clerk as part of the minutes, the Register of Deeds office, the Chancery Court office, the trustee's office, and the county clerk's office. These financial reports are due each July, and they have hereby been submitted. So make note of that. Up next, I want to call on Commissioner Gary Williams to come forward and give us an update. Remember, some months ago, we had a request that I discussed with Mr. Shell and Mr. Williams pertaining to the changing of the name of Lewis Chapel Mountain. And I've asked Gary to come, and he's met with some folks and had a community meeting, I understand, out there in that first district. And Gary, give us an update. That's what we're looking for.
Well, this kind of stems from a Facebook conversation that kind of rolled onto a different, a bigger project. But as some of you know, or some of you don't know, there is no Lewis Chapel Mountain. It's a Lewis Chapel community, and there was a big discussion that came about February of this year, and a proponent, Stacy Young, who lives in the Lewis Chapel area, submitted a proposal to the BGP, which is a section of it's not the U.S. Geological Survey map, but they're a subsidiary of that to help to make votes. And they've asked, he proposed that Lewis Chapel Mountain be Lewis Chapel Community, be named Lewis Chapel Mountain permanently on the maps, because right now it's part of Walden's Ridge or Cumberland Plateau, whichever you want to call it. And the proposal that he submitted, they returned it to the county executive's office and asked that the county legislative body make a resolution and decide whether it be named as Lewis Chapel Mountain permanently. And in the coming months, we hope to have a resolution to to name it Lewis Chapel Mountain. Well, then on Thursday, January 8th, 2021, Lewis Chapel Community Center had their annual or their regular 3-month, 2-month, 1-month meetings. They've missed them because of COVID. And a motion was made, seconded, and passed by the commission there in order to adopt and to develop a resolution to name it Lewis Chapel Mountain on the maps, so that anybody that's looking can see where Lewis Chapel Mountain is, because now there's no Lewis Chapel Mountain. And that's basically in a nutshell. And has anybody got any questions about it? Maybe I can answer them.
Well, let me say this first and foremost. We've had a lot of discussion, I have with Mr. Shell and Mr. Williams about this issue. I've asked that if any recommendation came out of the Lewis Chapel Community Center, which it has, that we have Ms. Mitchell draft the resolution and look into further any issues that may prevail out of this. But so it is my understanding that you're saying that the community is for changing the name from Lewis Chapel Community to Lewis Chapel Mountain. Is that
well,
right?
it's already Lewis Chapel Community. There's no change. It's changed from Flat Top or Walden's Ridge or whatever it is, just like you got Flat Top Mountain, you got Mulberry Mountain. It's going to be Lewis Chapel Mountain. You got Cagle Mountain. It's going to be Lewis Chapel Mountain on the maps.
That's what he's asking. What name do you want it to be officially?
Lewis Chapel Mountain.
Okay.
Okay. So, Jennifer, I'm kind of on a deadline. That's the reason we want to do this. Before we do any work relative to resolution or whatever, at our next public meeting, commission of the legislative body, we will bring that resolution forward. But tonight, we don't have that together, and hadn't had time. And I spoke with those folks on the phone, told them I'd give them a phone call in the morning and discuss further what the county legislative body wanted to do.
And I have talked to the Lewis people that live, that's been there for all this many years. And of course, they established that about 1880 when the Lewises moved up on Lewis Chapel Mountain. And every one of them knew about it, and they said they had no problems with the change in it, because once they understood what was actually taking place, that it was okay.
They also told me the same thing, so I can speak for them.
I was going to say, Mr. Shell, what say you?
Yeah, I spoke to a lot of them, and when he understood where he stood at, they was like me at first. I was skeptical about it, but I did speak to all of them. Okay.
And I have a copy of you've got the copy of the
I do.
Form that they request to be filled out and had to be signed by legislative body or county executive. And if anybody wants to see a copy of it,
I've got a copy. And Jennifer, I've not gotten that to you, but we'll get that to you. We wanted to find out what the community in the first district wanted first. So I think that only fair. Does everyone kind of agree with that assumption? Very good.
Thank you very much.
Just an update, and we wanted to cross that. So, Mr. Barter, come forward again, sir, and you can take us home.
All right. Okay. So, the Budget Committee did, again, meet this evening and discussed, and we were talking about the budget as presented 2 weeks ago to the full commission. So, with that in mind, we came and these came as recommendations or as motions from the Budget Committee to move forward. And I'll just go down one by one. Resolution 750 2021, that's the appropriations of various funds. And this was a motion from the Budget Committee.
You've heard the motion. Do I hear a second? I have a second from Mr. Brian Ruling. Any discussion, questions? Hearing none, all in favor, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Chester Shell.
Yes.
Gary Williams.
yes.
Bobby Sherman.
Yes.
Brian Ruling.
Yes.
Jim O'Breland.
Yes.
Bill Hatfield.
Yes.
Ronnie Land.
Yes.
Joyce Dodson. Yes. Jeff Barber,
Yes.
Paul Powell,
Yes.
David Cartwright,
Yes.
June Dishman, Frank Silver,
Yes.
Clint Hughes,
Yes.
Tommy Johnson,
Yes.
David Hudson,
Yes.
Tom Nero,
Yes.
and Jeff Mackey.
Yes.
Okay, Resolution 750 hereby passes, and up next is Resolution 751, the tax levy.
Yep.
Chairman Barker.
Yeah, and this was also a motion from the Budget Committee to accept the Resolution 751, the tax levy of 2.4422.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
I have a second from David Cartwright. Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Chester Shell,
Yes.
Gary Williams, Bobby Sherman,
Yes.
Brian Ruling,
Yes.
Jim Bob Brillen,
Yes.
Bill Hatfield,
Yes.
Ronnie Land, Joel Dodson, Jeff Barber,
Yes.
Paul Powell,
Yes.
David Cartwright,
Yes.
June Dishman, Frank Silver,
Yes.
Clint Hughes,
Yes.
Tommy Johnson,
Yes.
David Hudson,
Yes.
Tom Nero,
Yes.
Jeff Mackey.
Yes.
Resolution 751 hereby passes. Up next, Resolution 752, the appropriations for nonprofits. Chairman Barker.
Yes, sir. And this came as a motion from the Budget Committee to accept Resolution 752-2021, appropriation for nonprofits.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
I have a second from Tommy Johnson. Any questions? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, roll call.
Chester Shell,
Yes.
Gary Williams,
Yes.
Bobby Sherman,
Yes.
Brian Ruling,
Yes.
Jim Bob Brillen,
Yes.
Bill Hatfield,
Yes.
Ronnie Land,
Yes.
Joel Dodson, Jeff Barber,
Yes.
Paul Powell,
Yes.
David Cartwright,
Yes.
June Dishman, Frank Silver,
Yes.
Clint Hughes,
Yes.
Tommy Johnson,
Yes.
David Hudson,
Yes.
Tom Nero,
Yes.
and Jeff Mackey.
Yes.
Resolution 752, appropriations for nonprofits hereby pass.
While I'm still standing here, you want to do 753 and 754?
We can go ahead and knock those out if you want to, and I'll come back and get the commander here in just a minute. Yes.
All right. All right, and also in the Budget Committee, we discussed this, and this came as a motion from the Budget Committee to to pass Resolution 753, 2021, authorizing the issuance of general obligation bonds for fire department equipment.
Okay, you've heard the motion. Do I hear a second? I have a second from Ronnie Land. Any questions, discussions? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Chester Shell,
No.
Gary Williams,
Yes.
Bobby Sherman,
Yes.
Brian Ruling,
Yes.
Jim Bob Brillen,
Yes.
Bill Hatfield,
Yes.
Ronnie Land,
Yes.
Joel Dodson, Jeff Barber,
Yes.
Paul Powell,
Yes.
David Cartwright,
Yes.
June Dishman, Frank Silver,
Yes.
Clint Hughes,
Yes.
Tommy Johnson,
Yes.
David Hudson,
Yes.
Tom Nero,
Yes.
and Jeff Mackey.
Yes.
Resolution 753 hereby passes. Moving forward to Resolution 754, that authorizing the issuance, sale, and payment of bonds for said fire department equipment.
Yes, this is kind of the follow-up to 753. This is just a follow-up as the payment for the bonds. And this was a motion from the Budget Committee to accept.
Do I hear a second? I have a second from Frank Silver. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, roll call.
Chester Shell,
No.
Gary Williams,
Yes.
Bobby Sherman,
Yes.
Brian Ruling,
Yes.
Jim Bob Brillen,
Yes.
Bill Hatfield,
Yes.
Ronnie Land,
Yes.
Joel Dodson, Jeff Barber,
Yes.
Paul Powell,
Yes.
David Cartwright,
Yes.
June Dishman, Frank Silver,
Yes.
Clint Hughes,
Yes.
Tommy Johnson,
Yes.
David Hudson,
Yes.
Tom Nero,
Yes.
and Jeff Mackey.
Yes.
Resolution 754 hereby passes.
And that, Chairman, is all that the Budget Committee discussed this
Thank you,
afternoon.
Mr. Barker. We appreciate your hard work and your leadership at the Budget Committee. Going back, up next, our new VFW Commander, Mr. Johnny Cordell, who's a familiar sight around here. Mr. Cordell, come forward, please, and give us what you're doing at your new station.
Mr. County Executive, ladies and gentlemen of the Commission, I'm gonna make this succinct. In fact, I got it right here, so we'll try to get out here tonight. I really just wanted to come before you to express my appreciation for the Commission and your support financially and morally to the veterans of this county. I look out here, I know everybody out here, and we have some veterans on this commission. I guess, how many, Clint? 4 or 5 here? 5.
David?
6.
David? Cartwright?
I think everybody except Jeff Mackey's an honorable veteran.
Hey, I'm married, I should get something from that.
You get a hazardous duty pay.
Hazardous risk pay or something.
And I also, like I say, I'm new commander, getting my feet on the ground. But I do, the commander has an immediate staff, and I'd like to recognize them. Clint Host, the adjutant, over there, and I have Vicki Patterson, she is the quartermaster, right back here. And I'll get to her in a minute on something else, so. But that's basically what they do is, they do all the work. And the commander basically takes all the flack. But I do appreciate these folks. Now, some may not know that the VFW has purchased a building down here. Recently, it's just past the Mountain Valley Bank, the next building. It was a church at one time, but it's basically a new building. And we have incurred a debt on that. We've paid X amount of dollars, and I'm going to ask the quartermaster, she deals with these things, if you come up and tell us, give us a little bit on the figures on that.
I'm a lot shorter than he is. For those of you who don't know, we did buy a church. The church was basically wiped out because of COVID. They had a lot of elderly members who were susceptible, so when COVID hit, they stopped going to church, and they had just built the building a few years prior. They carried a mortgage on it, and they were looking to get out from under it. So it was a total God thing, if you will, that we were able to purchase this building for about $150,000. We had $100,000 from a building that we had recently sold. And so we were able to pay for most of it. However, Citizens Tri-County Bank did give us a mortgage for the balance. It was around $50,000. And our new commander has made it his personal mission to pay off this 15-year note in less than 5. We currently have a balance of $46,600 and some change. So we've already made a really good dent in it, thanks to the support that we get from the community. They just started having this cruise in. I think you've seen the signs by the Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber has been very supportive, and we want to thank all of you for helping us to help the veterans in this neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Vicki. Also, we also house the American Legion, Post 190. And I think we have the commander of American Legion Post, Tom Eggleston, back here.
Hello, Tom.
How are you? Now, we have, as she's mentioned, a partnership or a relationship with the Chamber. We also have a relationship with the Citizens Tri-County Bank, and we're looking for other relationships, if you want to call them that. As she mentioned, we're going to try to pay this off in 5 years, ambitious goal. Now, why would we want to do that? Well, paying it off in the debts that we have, we don't have a very big budget to start with. And so this impedes our ability to do basically what we need to do, and that's to help veterans. And so the quicker we can get that paid off and get behind us, then we can really focus on monetarily helping our veterans. Now, some of the things we do is, and there'll be others that come down the pike, as it's already been alluded to, the cruise-ins and the car show September the 15th. No, it's the 25th, isn't it? 25th, September 25th, we'll have a car show over here at Harris Park. So, also, I want to, we have other donations that come from individuals and corporations, and no donation is too small. We'll take any donation that you're willing to give. At this time, we have an electronic way to donate, and I want the one that's responsible for setting this up is Nathan Smith. He's our, come on up, he's our junior commander in the VFW.
Thank you, John. So just real quick, you can go on our website at www.vfw5772.org. So VFW5772, which is our post, .org, and at the top, just like any web page, if you click the word that says About, and you drop down the list, there'll be a Donate link. When you click on that Donate link, it will bring you to the base page. It clicks on another word that says Donate, and it will take you to PayPal, which I think most folks are very familiar with when you're paying or donating money online, so very secure, and any donation then will go directly to our bank account, and then we can help fund our post as well as help going to pay down this mortgage. So any donation, whether it's $1 or whatever, would be greatly appreciated. So thank you. If you got any questions about the website, catch me later. Or find one of us. Thanks.
Thank you, Nathan. Nathan's energy just exhausts me sometimes. I told somebody the other day that, old age comes at a bad time. Now, I say that because you probably got some here that don't know what I'm talking about. But, you get to a point in life, you pretty much, you know a lot of things. You know a lot of things, maybe everything. Then all of a sudden, you forget it. So that's what I'm indicating here. Now, tentatively, we have an open house, October the 2nd. I think I'm correct on that.
Yeah.
That involves the VFW Post 5772 and the American Legion Post 190. So if you have any questions, I'm going to hang around for a while. If you have anything you need to ask me. And I appreciate Mr. Chairman for having me on.
You're quite welcome, sir. Was that October the 2nd, Coach?
October the 2nd. It'll be from 10 to 12. You'll get an invite, and all the rest of you invited too. So, I hope you come. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman.
Oh, Bill, I'm sorry.
I know it's a little bit unorthodoxy, but, I, as this commissioner, would like to say that anything that we can do, I know we don't have any proposal on the table or anything's really being asked by them, but, I think one of the crown jewels of our community is that Veterans Park, down there. And they've needed a building, I know. I kind of stand by the backside and kind of watch that they've needed a place to go, and I'm glad that they've got that. And anything that this commissioner could do, I would certainly be for it in any kind of way. I know you got, about $50,000 worth of debt and so on. We give the Valley Fest and do a lot of other things out there. I don't want to let my mouth overload my rear end here, but I'm just saying that anything that we can do to help, we should certainly all be willing to do it. And I applaud, what they're doing.
Thank you.
Okay. I didn't hear real well because of this glass, but did I hear Mr. Hatfield say something about a blank check you were leaving? Anyway, thank you for those words, Bill, and we certainly have an active veterans, peoples here in our county that sacrificed, willing to sacrifice all, and we certainly honor them every chance we get. Okay, up next is the District 3 constable appointment. It's going to take me just a minute. Jennifer, I may need your help on assistance on this, but here's how it works. Now, I first am going to take nominations from the 2 District 3 commissioners. Now, I know they've had a lengthy process. They've gotten lots of calls. And a lot of this may come down to who called first or who called was the most impressive. I don't know the criteria, but let me say this to those of you that do not get the appointment. I've been there. Appointment's not everything. There's an election in a year. Run then, let the people do it. So this appointment, I want to encourage you, don't be discouraged if you don't get it. And that, I don't know who's going to get it. I don't know who, but what I would say is the sitting District 3 commissioners are the representatives that we should listen to. I just want to encourage you to do that. The next, what I have to do, I will get those nominations from those guys. Then I'll ask any other commissioner, do they have a recommendation as District 3 constable? Now, I don't know what the District 8 commissioner would want to appoint a District 3, but now, you know, there's some people might want to get into that business. I'm just saying. Then from the floor, I will ask, is there any nominations from the floor, the people of the House? The person has to be here. The person has to be a resident of District 3, and it has to have the support of at least one commissioner. Counselor, did I cover all that accurately?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to get started. I'm going to call on Mr. Hatfield and Mr. Breland. Mr. Hatfield, you're up first. Sir, give us your nomination, sir.
Well, first I'd like to say that, you know, I want to remember Lee Skiles. Lee, I believe, was an Army veteran. Somebody can correct me out here, I believe, as well, too. I think that needs to be said. Lee lived over there in the holler, and I had to call on Lee a couple of times through the years while he was constable. He was bound just like that. But the biggest thing I remember about his service was he had a car, you know, and had the lights, and, you know, he was out at 1, 2 o'clock, you know, in the morning visibly. And when he would circle the neighborhood and the house, or in the neighborhoods, he would turn on those side lights to let you know that that was him just patrolling, you know, checking things out. And, you know, he was on the job, and I appreciate that. And whoever, you know, is lucky enough to get this job, I hope they'll be visible as well too. And I'm sure they will be. And as Keith said, you know, I know that I've had several phone calls from a lot of worthy candidates, and I'm one vote in this thing. But you know, I want to involve Jimbo. He's my counterpart in the 3rd District here, and I'd like to ask Jimbo to make his recommendation instead of me making it, and I'll support his recommendation.
I recommend Michael Scott.
Michael Scoggins? Is Michael Scoggins in the house? Mr. Scoggins, would you please stand, sir? Michael Scoggins, Mr. Hatfield, do you support this nomination?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Scoggins, you may be seated at this point. Mr. Scoggins, you do live in the 3rd District?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Very good, sir. You're a U.S. citizen? All right. All right. Now we go to any other commissioner. Any commissioner have a nomination?
Larry Harvey.
Mr. Larry Harvey. This is from the 5th District. Mr. Larry Harvey. Mr. Harvey, is he in the house? Okay, I do know, Counselor, this is where I'm going to need you. Mr. Harvey stopped by my office this morning and said that if nominated, he would take the job. So Mr. Powell nominates Larry Harvey. And we have a sponsor for that. Any other commissioner? Hearing none, I will now ask the people of the floor, does anyone out there from the 3rd District that resides in the 3rd District Do you have a nomination from the 3rd District? And remember, you'll have to have a commissioner to support your nomination. And again, remember, if someone's after this and doesn't get it, run next August, because the appointment's not all it's up to be. Okay, hearing none, we will cease nominations. Right now, we have, and we'll take them in reverse order. Mr. Powell's nomination is Larry Harvey. Madam Clerk, and you will answer this, yay or nay for this recommendation. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Chester Shell,
Nay.
Gary Williams,
Nay.
Brian Ruling,
Nay.
Bobby Hart, Bobby Sherman,
Nay.
James Freeland,
Nay.
Bill Hatfield,
Nay.
Joyce Dodson,
Nay.
Ronnie Land,
Nay.
Jeff Barger,
Nay.
Paul Powell,
Yes.
June Dishman, I'm
Nay.
sorry, David Cartwright. Yes. No. Sorry. Now, Ms. Dishman.
Nay.
Frank Silver,
Nay.
Clint Huth,
Nay.
David Hudson,
Nay.
Tommy Johnson,
Nay.
Tom Nero,
Nay.
Jeff Mack.
Nay.
Okay, moving on to Mr. Scoggins. Mr. Scoggins was recommended by both commissioners of the 3rd. Madam Clerk, roll call on Mr. Scoggins.
Chester Shell,
Yes.
Gary Williams,
Yes.
Brian Ruling,
Yes.
Bobby Sherman,
Yes.
James Freeland,
Yes.
Bill Hatfield,
Yes.
Joyce Dodson,
Yes.
Ronnie Land,
Yes.
Jeff Barger,
Yes.
Paul Powell,
Yes.
David Cartwright, June Dishman,
Yes.
Frank Silver,
Yes.
Clint Huth,
Yes.
David Hudson,
Yes.
Tommy Johnson,
Yes.
Tom Nero,
Yes.
and Jeff Mack.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Scoggins, welcome to the constable world. You'll report to Donnie just as soon as you can. I'm just teasing. Now, guys, let me say this. We had 6 or 7 folks interested in this. I want to thank the commission for stepping up and nominating and following your hearts in this thing. That's why we are elected, to lead. So, I mean, it gets tough sometimes. We know a lot of folks that is put in for the job, but, you know, we do what we've got to do. So, all right, Mr. Scoggins, well, we'll see you and get you sworn in, Madam Clerk, in the morning. In the morning. Very good. Thank you guys again. Okay, up next in our last agenda item is the 911 road names. You should have had those in your packet. Mr. Ruling?
There's not many this time. So we have Forest Trail, which is off of Henson Gap Road. Escape Ridge Road off of State Route 8 on Cagle Mountain. Water Tower Road off of Fredonia Road on Fredonia Mountain. And Smoky Bear Lane, which is off of Hartman Road on the south end. These are just for 911 purposes only, for addressing the houses.
What about Steel Cove Road?
It has not.
Steel Cove, I've got that one in my package.
Okay, Steel Cove too, because it's not in my, not in your package.
Okay, these are the 5 roads: Forest Trail, Escape Ridge, Water Tower Road, Steel Cove Road,
That's on Signal Mountain.
and Smoky Bear Lane.
Down in,
Now, again, these are not county roads. Mr. Higgins knows that, and these are for 911 purposes, location purposes only. These are in your packet. I'll entertain a motion that Mr. Breland have the motion. Hold on, Mr. Jones.
Well, we don't have them all in the packet.
I can't hear.
We do not have the last one in the packet.
Okay, which one was
We
this?
don't have the road.
Okay, I've got it in my packet.
We don't.
Okay, let's pull it out. Do we want to make that aside and waive the
Yes.
5-day rule?
It would need to be.
Okay. Okay, business first. Okay, let's pull out Steel Cove Road, and I'll entertain a motion to waive the 5-day rule. I have a motion from Mr. Johnson. Have a second from Clint Huth. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye on the waiver. Aye. All opposed likewise. The 5-day rule is hereby removed. It will be included in the group of now Steel Cove Road, Smoky Bear Lane, Forest Trail, East Ridge Road, Escape Ridge Road, and Water Tower Road. I'll entertain a motion to approve these 911 roads. Mr. Breland, and a second was Mr. Ronnie Land. Any questions?
So this is off of Clearbrook?
It's very end of Clearbrooks.
They're building a house.
They're building a house. It's only one house right now. Past Beaten Path on the left. There's one house on the corner, and her driveway will be coming off of that road. It's already there, so it is there. She's just going to bring her driveway off of the road and go into the house. Mm-hmm. Probably less than 20 feet off of Clearbrook. Her driveway will turn right.
We have a motion and a second. Any other comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed likewise. These 5 roads hereby pass for road names with the 911 organization. Okay, moving forward, again, we have a joint meal and tour of the city, and tour with the city, the school, and the county commissioners on July the 27th at 5:30, Coach, is that correct? And where do we meet at?
Griffith Elementary.
Griffith Elementary. Okay, very good. Also remind you tomorrow, Carbon Black Global, the open house from 1 to 4. Pam, is that correct? Yes. Tomorrow afternoon at their location on Barbaro Road up on Fredonia. Many of us have been through that. It's I really think a lot of that organization, what they're trying to do with reduce landfill storage. So I applaud them. Okay, Madam Clerk, what about the notary appointments? Read us the bill of fare.
We only have 2, believe it or not. Chrissy G. Barker and Edna Faust.
I hear a motion to approve.
So moved.
I have a motion from David Hudson. Do I hear a second? Jeff Mackey. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed likewise. These notaries hereby pass. Any other announcements? Hearing none, we stand adjourned.